What up? Welcome back to the channel. I'm Mo.J and we are locked in. This is episode 3 of Ready to Love. Now, we got rid of 2 people in the first episode, a gentleman and a woman. This is just a little social gathering, surface level conversation, introduce, you try to see if there's anybody you might be attracted to and that you want to connect with. But before we get into this episode, shout out to the notification gang. If you're new to the channel, you want to be a part of it, hit the subscribe button, turn on your notification bell so you get something every time I upload. Hit that like button, it's the easiest thing you can do. Now we're moving forward. We get to dig a little bit deeper. So anybody you met at the little social meeting, okay, well, let's see where it goes from here. So let's jump into it. This is Ready to Love, episode 3. Starting the episode off, we have a group date. Tasia is actually one of the first women there, and she has a few of the gentlemen here. Now, let me make something clear, because I see some things, and I tell you I don't like bringing offline things onto the TV show. We just talk about what's on the show. But Tasia is an attractive woman. There is nothing wrong with her weight. So I don't want to hear everybody's looking over her because she's a curvier woman. That is not it. She's an attractive woman. That's like me saying women overlook me because I'm only 6 foot tall, which I can't control my height. Now, the reason that she was put in the bottom is because she didn't have a conversation with anybody. And you see how she's sitting in here. So what y'all put me in the bottom for? What's wrong with, hey, just have a conversation with us. We're at brunch. We want to drink. You know what I'm saying? We enjoying it. You got to change up how you talk to them. You can even see they're looking at her like, we don't have nothing against you. It's just how you talking to us. Like, chill a little bit. Chill. Aisha walks in, got the hot pink pants on. She got the girls showing. She got the blonde hair, the big glasses. Talking about whenever I walk in, I turn heads. Well, they turn heads like, oh, it's another cast member. Hey, good to see you. Not just gonna let you walk in. I mean, me personally, I can't do at this age, all the blonde hair, and she's older than me. But I mean, to each his own. Tommy comes in clowning like Tommy does. He's talking about the girls patting they weave and stuff, talking about, girl, I made it past the first night. But you see, hey, they didn't expect to get eliminated the first night. But this week, the women have the power. So we will be getting rid of one gentleman in this episode. And it's going to be a little tough because when you're facing that elimination and you don't really have any connections, now is the time that you got to just jump onto somebody. Hey, I've been feeling you the whole time. What we going to do? Because ain't no one trying to go home, especially not the first episode, the second episode, the third. I'm at least trying to make it halfway through. Sabrina and Aisha, they have Tyrone over there. Now, Tyrone is the ex-military. He's in the tech. So with him being in tech, he's just a little socially awkward just because, they're more, tech savvy in their head. But they're talking to him about oysters and eating. Aisha talking about she likes to slurp out them. I'm like, I don't eat seafood like that. But Tyrone saying, I don't know if I like that stuff. And Sabrina's looking at him like, what do you mean you don't know? Hey, man, I had oysters one time and that just ain't my cup of tea. Now, I can't even sit around. I don't like the smell of that seafood. No. But Tyrone, him being prior military and the way he's acting, he had a couple of deployments. So he might have a little PTSD. Carrie and Carrington, they're talking. Now, she said she met him at the little mixer, but he was just asking interview-like questions, and he's doing the same thing now. So it's not like a fluid conversation. It's more of, what would you do for this? How would you react to this? And I'm like, man, come on, man. You got to relax a little bit. You sitting for it, ask a question. Relax, grab a drink. Ask some questions, make her laugh, do something. Because she's smiling here, but that's just being nice. Because in her interview, she's saying, I ain't really with all those questions like that. Courtney and Cornelius, the C and C connection. It's just something about when names line up like that. But they're talking and she's asking about his love language. He's talking about his is gifts. Hers is just that touch, that physical touch. Not always affectionate, but, just touch here and there. So you can tell that she's kind of opening up because she's attracted to him. And he's just sitting there relaxing, reading it, but he's playing it cool. That's all you need to do. Just play it cool. Listen to what she got to say. Go with the flow. And that seems what he's doing, especially when they're attracted to you. That makes it even easier. Mr. Corey. Now, I know a lot of people were disliking Corey because he was going around and doing what he's supposed to do on a dating show, getting numbers, trying to set up dates. But he was doing it a little just, hey, can I come over? Can I set up a date? He's talking to Sabrina and she's telling him, I'm grown and sexy. And Corey, you might not be ready for that because we know Corey, he wants to set up an individual date where he said he can flourish at, where, it's just you two. I mean, I understand that and I respect that, but still you have to at least put in some form of communication. And that's what she's saying. We should be able to talk to each other before we go on a date. Now, in that case, he would need your number. We're not going to sit here and talk for 3-4 hours and get to know each other. If I had your number, I could call, get to know you, and then we could set up a date. I mean, it goes either way. It's just he was just moving a little too fast for what I would be doing. Corey and Sabrina, it didn't work. But as he's leaving the show, he said he seen Mumin and she had a flat tire. Now, I think this is staged. You know, he takes his shirt off, his jacket, and he gets out there and pumps out the jack. Like, I got a suit on. You ain't got AAA. I'm not about to get, you know what I'm saying? I don't really even know you like that. I know it's, chivalry, but I'm like, hey, I've been drinking too. No, I'm good. But they end up talking to each other, and he eventually gets his first one-on-one date. So he gets his first date with her. She comes out. She got the athletic wear on. He out here taking a selfie, talking about, yeah, the picture I really want is you and I. So it's like, all right, he got no game, but he has his individual date. So let's see where he goes from here with it. We have a double date. Camille, Walter, Cornelius, and Courtney. Now we know Cornelius, he seems to be a favorite in here. Camille, she wants to see how he interacts around other women so she can shut it down because, she said that's her boyfriend. But we already see the two C's, that Courtney and Cornelius connection, how they are already talking about their love language and the physical touch. So she comes right out the gate with, how do you guys feel with religion? Now, both of the gentlemen, they say they're both spiritual and they do believe in the Lord. Now, Camille, she's talking about me. I'm a church girl, And Courtney, she's the same way. She's in the church also. Now, they get to talking about little other things that don't deal with religion. They do, but they don't deal with religion. And when I say that, Camille brings up, how do you guys feel about not having sex before marriage? Well, Camille, you're 42. I'm pretty sure you're not a virgin. So you've been having sex before marriage, and both of the gentlemen are like, nah, I couldn't be with that. I couldn't do that. And you got Courtney saying, oh no, I need to have sex. She's a 30-year-old. So she's looking at it like, hey, I'm living it up how I can. Cornelius is looking like, yeah, I don't know if I could do that. Now I'm 36. You can miss me with that. I couldn't do it. I'm sorry. I'm not waiting until I'm married. I've been married before, and I probably won't get married again. But hey, this ain't about me, people. Now, Corey, he said this is where he thrives, on the one-on-one dates. Now he's talking to Mumin, and he's asking her, is her perception of him changed now? She's like, yeah, after you changed my tire, it definitely made me look at you differently. But of course, the initial impression that they got of you is like, hey, you're just going around talking to everybody. So they're out here, and she does say, he doesn't have like any good jokes. He's just corny things and just making her laugh. Sometimes being corny works. Now, he takes it, he takes it and he runs with it. And they getting a little close, if you know what I mean. Now, one thing I noticed about Camille, she's hearing Courtney talk about that, and Walter's agreeing. Even Cornelius is like, you think you'll wait? What if you slip up or something? Now, Camille's seeing Courtney as competition because Cornelius is kind of on the same page as her. So she's saying, yeah, I will wait. I will go to therapy and counseling and, make it. Ain't nobody trying to hear that. Your competition is over here. She's younger and she's having more fun in life. So this might be a tough one. You might have to cut your ties with Cornelius, even though I don't think Cornelius really even had a genuine connection with her. He was, cool, cordial, but I don't know about that. When I tell you Corey getting close, the guy he works quickly. So he gets behind her and they simulate riding a horse. He back there like, oh, I'm just doing the giddying up my stuff. I'm like, hey, bro, like, you gotta chill, man. This ain't the era for all that. You can't just be wilding out like that. Get your ass in trouble. But she's going along with it. So it seems like she's comfortable with it and they getting close. So she's looking at Corey. Hey, I look at him differently. He gives me corny jokes, but makes me laugh. Tyrone and Zadia, they get a little one-on-one. And Tyrone, they both start to open up with each other. I mentioned that he was in the military. He had some deployment, so he probably has PTSD, and he's a tech guy. So for him, the conversations can't be too overbearing for him. Like how Aisha and Sabrina were talking to him. They're like, oh, you haven't did it. Nah, he's more of a, I got to have a conversation, go at a smooth, steady pace. And he starts to tell her that he has PTSD. He's been diagnosed with it. He goes to the VA. I go to the VA. I got PTSD. So I understand where he's coming from. It's just everyone's different. And Zadia, she's listening to him and she's opening up to him also. So for him, he's like, man, if all the dates could be like this, perfect. So that's what he needed. Someone that's, a little more laid back and reserved like him, and that he can just talk to. And Zadia, she seemed like she's kind of feeling Tyrone too. That's a good move, man. One of my veterans. I salute you, brother. She appreciates that Tyrone opened up to her. So she's like, I'm glad to hear what you were going through. And that's good. Like, people don't ever look at men and think that we have emotions or feelings or things going on. But we do. I was depressed at a time and point, but no one ever asked me about that. Zadia, nice young woman here. I like her personality. She's just laid back. She listens, and she doesn't over talk the conversation. Aisha and Carrington, they meet up on U Street in DC. If you haven't been, it's a nice place. They have restaurants, lounges, and other venues, so you can go in here and you'll get this nice environment. Now, Aisha is 38. She owns a hair salon. Carrington is 33. He owns a little marketing firm where he's more into the nightlife. So for her, she has kids and she's looking at Carrington. They're both attracted to each other, but a red flag for her is, since he's in the nightlife, he might not be ready for someone like her because he'll have women all in his face every single night. Now, no one ever says, well, you own a hair salon, you do weaves and stuff, you could be influenced by the twerk life. You know what I'm saying? No one ever says that. It's just, she's a business owner. He runs business. Maybe he doesn't get personal mixed up with business. Other than that, she's like, I don't know if he's ready for someone like her. And my recommendation for him being 33, I wouldn't go with a 38. I wouldn't go with a 38-year-old woman with kids. I would, try to start my own thing. That's just me. But overall, she doesn't think that this will work with her and Carrington. She does start asking tough questions to Carrington. So have you ever cheated? And he gives a good answer. I never been in a relationship, so I never cheated. I've talked to women, but we never dated or were committed to each other, so it's not cheating. She like, well, that was a good answer, though. I mean, if you haven't been in a relationship, then you really can't cheat. But I would have asked, so why did your husband leave? What did you do to make him leave? Since she's asking me, did I cheat? Did you cheat on your husband? See, those are the questions you got to ask, fellas. And don't be scared to ask. If they can ask you a question, you could be able to ask the same question. We have a group date here. We got a couple of the women, a couple of the gentlemen. And when they get in there, hey, drinks, please. They just, want to relax and open up. Now, Zadia, she's saying she's attracted to both of these gentlemen, Naeem and Walter, but she's like, I don't want to be in the room with both of them at the same time. Y'all know how it is. We didn't all been there before. You interested in someone, but someone else you are too. So now you got to try to manage your time in between both and make sure that you ain't showing too much time to the other. But they get in there and they start talking about what turns them on. Tasia, she says for her, it's got to be a mental thing. She want a smart guy that can figure things out. And everybody, okay, cool. We can rock with that. Now, Shiloh, she's in there talking about, I'm a sensual person. You hear Naeem say, oh, sexual vibes. She like, no. Sensual. Sexual, they're different, but hear me out. I'm going to take my partner to the next level. Everybody like, oh, okay, cool. Dante over there like, all right, cool. I'm hearing everything. I got Zadia here. She attracted to me. I'm here with Shiloh like, hey, sitting back and listening. That's all you need to do is just soak up all the game. So now okay, I can go talk to her about sensual things. I can go talk to her about mental things. See, you just building your rapport and you taking notes. Just answer the questions. Hey, y'all need to join my class, man. I could teach y'all. Amen. I could teach y'all some things. Now Tommy comes in, but it's time to talk to ladies and get straight down to business because we need to know who they're feeling and who they aren't feeling, because this is what it's all about. The ladies have the power. We're getting rid of somebody tonight. Now, I don't know who it is, but we're getting rid of somebody. Unfortunately, Aisha didn't show up to it. She had gotten a wreck, so she was just on FaceTime with Muming, and she was letting her know, hey, I won't be there. So hopefully everything is good with her. Cornelius is a fan favorite. I'm talking about all the women at the table. They talking about, I like Cornelius. Camille, she said that was her boyfriend. She talking about, Tommy like, I ain't never heard that noise before. Everybody laughing. I'm like, man, what the hell was that? But she likes Cornelius, and so does a few other women. So when Camille hears other people saying they like Cornelius, she makes a little face like, hey, it's a competition. You got to get out there. You didn't put all your eggs in one basket talking about Cornelius. Hey, Cornelius, he got options. And when a man got options, hey, you got to step your game up because he gets to choose between 4 or 5 different women. And hey, if you on the back of the list, then That's on you. See, everybody was sleeping on Tyrone because he was reserved in the beginning. But after you get to sit down and talk to him, Sabrina's like, yeah, Tyrone. Carrie's like, yeah, Tyrone. Now, there's something that went on with Carrie and Tyrone. I'm going to break down for you. But Zadia's feeling Tyrone also. So Tyrone had moved his way up. I tell you, my military brothers. Tyrone calls Carrie and tells her, look, at this point, I like a couple of women here. I don't know if I can handle talking to another woman. So he pretty much cuts off any ties with Carrie. And I respect a man like that. Look, I'm talking to 3 women. I don't know if I can handle 3 or 4 women at one time. So you're the least that I want to talk to. Now, was he kind of direct with it? And, you know, he wasn't nice and proper. He was just like, hey, I can't talk to 3 women. At least he's being honest. I can't handle all of this at one time. We also know he has PTSD. So for him, hey, he's handling what he can handle. Now, unfortunately for Carrie, that's how she received the news. Tyrone called Shiloh and told her, I called Carrie and told her I couldn't handle all that. It's just not, you know, I'm just not mentally there right now. Why did he call another woman and tell her? I don't know, unless they got like a previous relationship or they knew each other outside of this. But Shiloh shouldn't have told that information. If Tyrone told you that in the confidence of you, then that's what it should have been. Because now Carrie is looking at it like, oh, I need to talk to Tyrone about this. Dang, Tyrone. That's one thing. You can't talk to a woman about another woman. Just don't do it unless it's like your mom or your sister or something. Damn. Now, somebody that they're not feeling, Carrington. They're saying he feel like he's running for president. He's trying to get elected. Now, Courtney, she sticks up for him. I knew him. He's a good guy. But you got to understand the business that he's in. He's probably not into all that just talking and fluff. He's getting straight down to the point. It's like, this is what's going to happen. This is what we need to do. That's just his personality. Seems like a genuine guy, but the ladies, they aren't feeling that. Carrington and Sabrina, I guess they had a conversation, and she's older than him. So she's saying, look, how do you feel? I don't know if we could do this because of the age difference. He said, I'm not about to argue with you back and forth on how old you are, how old I am. I mean, we can't change that. If you're older than me, I understand that. I don't need to hear that every single day. But Sabrina, she ain't trying to hear none of that. And you see a couple of the women say, nah, we ain't feeling Carrington. So just like that, Corey was at the bottom. Corey done snuck his way past that. And it looks like it might be Carrington. Just as I expected, Carrington and Corey, they're in the bottom too. Now, Carrington, he meets up with Camille, and we're going to see where that goes from here, because this is the one-on-ones to see who's getting eliminated. Corey meets up with Tasia for his one-on-one. Now, he's sitting there, and they're saying everything he was talking to the women were about was just broad. Like, we were just getting to know each other. If I want to have a deeper conversation, I'm not going to be able to have that in the first 30 minutes. Corey, he's in his own world, and he's just going to do what Corey does. So we're going to see who doesn't make it out of this. Carrington's sitting here, and he's listening to everything Camille says, but he's like, look, let's move forward with the next part of this day. What's going on? And she said, well, we took a consensus. And he's like, so y'all voted, huh? He kind of starts laughing because, you know, when we took a consensus, oh yeah, I'm probably voted off. Yeah, Carrington, you're going to have to go ahead and go home. Now, I would have finished my meal and drank my drink before I left because it's on the, you know what I'm saying, on the budget. But Carrington, he has to go home. Now, Corey, he wins. He gets to stay another week. He's just flying up on the radar. He's going to have to get up, you know what I'm saying? He got another week because next week the men had a power. But he makes it through tonight. And he looks at her and he says, okay, with that being said, do I get a second date? And she laughs, corny jokes. And she's like, yeah, I'll go on another date with you. There you go, Ready to Love episode 3. Do you think Carrington was the right guy to get eliminated this week? Let me know what you think below. I'm Mo.J. If you like the content on the channel, hit that like button, hit that subscribe button. Thanks for watching. I'm out.
Jimmy on the beat, boy.